So we are going to start off today with a quick mindfulness practice to get ourselves centered, which we will start doing every week. We'll start off with some mindfulness just to help bring the intensity of the day down. Hopefully your days have not been crazy today, but my day was just slammed. So I've been looking forward to this. So start off in your chair, and then if you have a block or a book or something that you can put your feet on, remember we want our knees in line with our hips, okay? And I have short little legs, so I need a block. Okay, so we're gonna start off with arms either on the arms of your chair, arms on your thighs, but if you're comfortable, we'll turn palms up to start with. It just helps create more just your physical presence will help create more openness to what's coming next, okay? So you can relax your hands on your thighs or relax hands on the arm of your chair. Just let your arms relax somewhere. And you can close your eyes. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, then just kind of soften your gaze downward. But if you're comfortable, we'll close our eyes. We're just gonna start noticing our breath. So looking at where you feel your breath, it might be in your belly or your ribs or your chest or even your nostrils, maybe the movement of the air. And as you let your breath deepen, notice if there's a softening effect. Softening mentally or physically. Just allowing yourself to be where you are right now. We're not thinking about the past. We're not thinking about the future. We are here at this moment in this class. Now see if you can expand the breath deeper into the belly. So as you inhale, the belly expands further. And as you exhale, let the belly fall in towards your spine. Just long, gentle breaths. And then bring your hands together at your heart, palms facing each other. And then release your hands and open your eyes. Okay. Thank you for joining me in our little mindfulness breath practice to open up today. So last time we just talked about movement and the importance of creating mobility and stability in different joints. And so today we are going to work more on the mobility. So if we look at where we have tightness in our muscles, we want to inhibit those muscles. Okay, so those tight muscles, they need to be inhibited, and then they need to be lengthened. Okay, so we've got to tell the muscle to calm down, and then we need to stretch it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do with our massage balls today. So let's move forward on the chairs a little bit. We're going to warm up some of our joints, and then we'll move into using your massage balls. So start with wrist circles. If no one has typed on a computer today, then I am jealous. Go the other way. Maybe Michaela hasn't. I don't know. Okay, let's spread fingers wide and then make fists open and close. So we create tension and then we release it. Okay, so just shake it out. Okay, all right. So hands on shoulders and just nice big circles. And then go the other way. And then relax your arms down, and we're just gonna do elbow, not elbow, this is your ear to your shoulder. I do know my body parts. We'll go side to side. And if you have any tension, that's okay. We're just noticing where your tension is right now so that you can target those areas when we get to the ball. Okay, go ahead and relax upper body. Let's move to lower body. So let's do some foot circles. Now, if you have any ankle issues, go ahead and go the other way. Then we won't do it today, but if you practice writing the alphabet with your foot, that's really helpful. Okay, point and flex. So maybe one of these days we'll practice writing our names in cursive. Okay, then spread your toes really wide and then curl. And then shake the foot out. Okay, let's do the other side. Start with circles. And then go the other way. And then point and flex. And spread the toes wide and then curl them. Can you see space between all of your toes? And can you spread your toes without like making a face? Okay, go ahead and release. Because I find myself doing that all the time. Okay, we're just gonna do a few stand up, sit downs, okay, so chair squats. So if you have difficulty getting out of a chair, use your hands on your thighs or arms on the chair. If you feel like you have the strength and stability, bring your hands to your shoulders. Okay, lean forward as little as possible so you move your body forward, but you keep your spine vertical. And then we go back down, okay? So just do like, 5 or 6 of those. You get to move at your own speed. One thing that you can notice too is watch your knees and look down and see if your knees move out or in when you're doing this. If your knees fall in, that's an indication that you have some weak glute muscles. Okay, and we're gonna focus on glutes a lot, just not today. Next week we get to do lots of glutes. Okay, so go ahead and relax. Hopefully you're feeling a little more warmed up now. So now we're gonna grab our massage ball. Okay, so this is very useful and I would recommend just use it throughout the day when you're feeling tension. Okay, but we're gonna start with our neck. And before we go to the ball, I want you to take your right hand, put it on the right side of your head. Actually, you're gonna need to put the ball down for this. Lied, I don't want you using the ball yet. Okay, so you push your head into your hand. So now we're activating the right side of the neck. Okay, hold it there, keep pushing. And when you activate one side, it tells the other side to relax. So if you feel the other side, it should feel pretty loose. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna stretch this other side. So as you release your hand, drop your head to the right and pull on the other side of your head. Okay. So when you activate one side, the antagonistic muscle, it will inactivate. Okay, bring your head back up and let's do the other side. So push your head into your hand. So we're pushing hard. If you want, you can notice the difference in the sides. Let's hold a couple more seconds and then relax to the left and pull your head down. And maybe one side was tighter. Okay, go ahead and release it up. Okay, so now take your ball. So now we're gonna work into the muscle a little deeper. So you're just gonna start by rolling the ball on one side. Doesn't matter what side you do, we'll do both sides. So you're gonna roll around. Now you've got muscles in the front, which are your scalenes, so don't forget that you have muscles in the front. Just stay away from, your windpipe and your throat. But anywhere that there's muscles, work on it, and then work towards the back. And hopefully you are feeling some sensation. Okay, now we are gonna push and twist. So push and twist, and if you find a really tender spot, or a knot, then stop and hold it there. Because I found a nice big one. So feel free to do the pushes and twists, but when you find tight, knot, tender spot, hold. And when you're doing this on your own, like if you can hold 30 seconds, that's kind of ideal. Okay, so we'll spend just a little bit longer on this side. If you want, you can also do drags. I kind of like these because you can start higher and then drag the length of the muscle. So the goal today is for you guys to learn how to use the massage ball to inhibit those tight muscles. And you can use it on any muscle. Okay, let's switch sides. So I like to start kind of a little lighter, and of course the harder you push, the deeper you get, but start a little lighter, and then if you're not finding much, then get a little deeper, push a little harder. And then let's add some of those push and twist. Okay. Now this is, I call this the poor man's massage. Too bad we can't have a masseuse take care of us every single day, but we can do this with a very simple tool. Okay, if you find a knot, remember to hang out, stop and hang out on it. And one thing you can do too is if you find that knot and you push into it, you can even do a little bit of movement and lengthen. You know, it's just kind of up to you to figure out what's most effective for you. Okay, all right. How's the neck feeling? Let's just do a few head turns, chin tucks in all directions. Okay, so another muscle group that gets super tight from sitting too much and just our lives in general. Because if you think we drive our cars, our arms are out here. We type, our arms are out here. We hold the remote, our arms are out here. Okay, our pecs get super tight. So we're gonna do some pecs. Now, you can use your hand on this. This is where I like using a block or a book. Okay, but you can use your hand. It's just fine. You just have a more surface area with a block or book. So we are working from your sternum across your chest over to your shoulder. That's your pec muscle. Okay, so we're just gonna start with some gentle rolls. Okay, you can use your hand or use a book or a block. Pecs get really tight, and you probably didn't even know your pecs were so tight. Okay, so start to add a little more pressure. Okay, and again, if you find a knot or a tender spot, stop and just dig into it. Now we don't want to go past that point where it's too painful. And then my favorite one on this one is the drag. So we start high and we drag low. So you add pressure as you go, and remember to work your way across the whole muscle. You can also do those twists. The twists work better with your hands than it does with your block or your book, but you can do those as well. Okay, so let's switch sides. Other side. And start off with some simple rolls. Just working through the whole muscle. And then as you get a little deeper, start to find those knots. If you find a big one or a real tender spot, stop and hold. And then drags. My favorite are the drags. Okay, so let's pause there. So now let's do a little, we did our inhibit, now we're going to do our lengthen. So now we're going to stretch our pecs. A great one for this is a wall, but we're going to use our chair because that's the tool we have here. So your pecs, to stretch them, we're moving back. So I'm going to have you reach back, grab the arms of your chair or the back of your chair. Okay. And then we lean forward. Now we did this one last week, but now we have inhibited the muscle first. So now we're getting some good length. Now we add chin tucks up and down. And then come to seated with arms up in goalpost arms or cactus arms. So pull the elbows back as far as you can get them. Now if your chest lifts, then tuck your ribs back in, okay? Because what happens if your chest lifts, you're gonna arch in your back and then we lose neutral spine. So now we're gonna imagine there's a wall behind us and we're gonna move up and down through the pecs and the shoulders. Now try and keep your chin tucked in, even make a double chin so that our ears are over our shoulders. And that doesn't mean chin down, it means chin back, okay? So ears are over shoulders. Okay, go ahead and release arms, relax a little bit and see how your posture feels. Okay, good job. So now let's do, we're gonna do quads a little bit and calves, and then my total favorite is glutes on the floor. It's the best one. So you can take your ball and just start to work into your quads. This again, if you want to use your block, you can add more leverage and get a little deeper, but you're welcome to use your hand. Now, quads don't usually feel too tender with this, but if you find a spot, spend some time. But what I do want you to do is eventually work your way out towards your IT band and roll, push and roll across the outside of your leg. This is much more uncomfortable with a foam roller, but we're not going to do that. This usually just feels pretty good. Okay, let's do the other quad. We're just really looking for any tender or tight spots, which you can typically find if you move out where the IT band would be. Like, there's one on me right there. Okay, so we're gonna move to our calves. Calves are another area that get really tight from sitting too much, okay? So we're gonna work on the inside and the outside. We could do this seated on the floor or up on the chair is great too. So if you find that it feels awkward on the chair, feel free to sit. But if you just bring one knee up, so just kind of lean back on your chair, we're gonna take our ball. You're gonna make a fist, put it on the outside of your calf, and the ball goes on the opposite side, and then we start to roll. Okay, and this is one where those, if you push and twist, you can get a lot deeper. Add some pressure on this because typically you're gonna find some tight muscles in there. Okay, let's do the other side. So just switch hand, roll. And then you can push and twist. So after we inhibit calves, we'll do some quick calf stretching. Okay, let's switch legs. So start on whichever side you want, do rolls and then do those dig and twist. And don't forget that you got muscle all the way down the leg, so work your way down because you might find some spots even lower that feel pretty darn tight. Okay, let's do the other side. All right, we are going to go down to the floor on hands and knees. If you don't want to be on hands and knees, you could use your chair. Put your hands on your chair, so I'll show you what I mean by that. So if you don't want to be on hands and knees, you put your hands on your chair and just not be on your knees, okay? So from here, you can move to hands and knees or hands on a chair. We're going to tuck, step left toes back and tuck them under. Now we're going to rock forward and back. So you're pushing heel back and then pushing forward on your toes so that we're getting some deeper stretching in the calf muscle. Okay, now really push into your hands, push hard back so that you're getting a nice long stretch in the calf. And if you want, you can even try bending the back knee a little bit so that shifts it to a different calf muscle and it might feel tighter. Okay, let's switch legs, forward and back. See if you can notice all 5 toes. Like, don't leave your pinky toe out. Okay, push your hands in, really drive your heel back. Hold that stretch longer. And relax. Okay, we're going to take a seat now. And we're going to work into the deep glute muscles. Now we're focusing on the muscles that tend to get tight on people. Can you guys still see me okay? Let me tilt this down. Okay, so take a seat. We're gonna pop the ball under one cheek, plant your hands behind you, and then lift up the other cheek. Okay, so now we roll forward and back. And then we roll side to side. This is where you have to practice your relaxation yoga breathing because it can get kind of intense. But we're getting into that deep piriformis muscle. Okay, so now try and stop right in the middle. See if you can relax and let yourself sink into the ball. Yeah, that's fun. Okay, so now we're going to take the same knee, this on the same side that the ball is, and move the knee up and down. And then we take the knee out and in. Okay, so now is the magic disappearing butt trick. So drop your other cheek, take the ball out, drop the cheek you just worked on, and feel the difference between the 2 cheeks. Okay. Let's do the other side. Okay, so get the ball under the other cheek. Let's do some rolls forward and back. Oh man, this side is so much worse. And side to side. This is where I have to try really hard to not make funny faces at you all. Okay, let's stop in the middle. Try and sink into the ball and not use expletives. Okay, let's do a knee up and down. Okay, apparently I need to do this side way more than the other side. Okay, and then knee out and in. Okay. Drop the cheek, take the ball out, rock side to side, see how those glutes feel. Okay, we made it through the ball section. But one thing, we won't do it today, but one cool thing that you can do for your lower back is if you take 2 balls and you put them inside a sock, okay, and then you tie off the end of the sock, then you can use it to roll on your back. So you would lay down on the ground and roll forward and back, low back, mid back, upper back. So 2 balls is really useful for that. Now that we have inhibited our glutes, now let's lengthen them. So let's go down to our backs. Okay, and then we're gonna do ankle over knee. And then if you're getting a stretch here, you can stay here. If you need more of a stretch, then the bottom leg gets pulled up. Okay. So hopefully you're feeling it in the same general area that you felt when you were rolling on the ball. If not, just anywhere in the hip is great. If you want, you can even push the knee away and then pull it in. So just working on some internal, external hip rotation, just to find out where your tightness is, because all of our bodies are different. Okay, go ahead and switch legs. And let's do the other side. Notice if one side one side is tighter than the other. And if you want, you can do those internal, external hip rotations with the knee pull. Okay, go ahead and lower feet to the floor and move your feet really wide. So your feet are like shoulder width apart or maybe even further. And then we're gonna take arms straight out to the sides with your palms up, and then do windshield wipers with the knees, side to side. So this is really good for your hips, your SI joints, your lower back, because a lot of times lower back pain is actually SI joint pain. And many times it has to do with a weak core and or weak glutes. We are going to start doing some core work too, but today was all about trying to loosen everything up. Okay, bring your feet back in close together and then extend your legs one at a time. Reach your arms above your head and full body stretch. Just make yourself really, really long. And then relax. Oh, lay down, Nico. My doggy decided to join me too. Take one leg straight up in the air. Grab behind your thigh. Okay, so now you're trying to push your heel towards the ceiling, and then if you're getting a really good stretch right there, just stay there. If you need a little more, then start to slowly straighten out the other leg on the floor until you're at that point where that's good enough. Let's hold there a little longer. So now we're going to do what we did at the beginning with your neck. So push your leg into your hand. Push your leg into your hand and resist. So now we're activating the hamstring, and then as soon as we relax, it'll release. So now relax and pull your leg back. Okay, just a little deeper stretch. Okay, let's do the other side. So foot on the ground, other leg comes up, grab behind the thigh. Okay, and then start to straighten out the other leg if you need more. Okay, and now push your leg into your hands. Keep pushing a couple more seconds. And now relax and pull the leg back a little more into that stretch. All right, go ahead and release the leg. Go ahead and come back up to a seated position. My dog always makes his way over to me when I stretch. Okay, so however you're comfortable seated, if you want to sit cross-legged, if you want to sit legs out, however you're comfortable, if you'd rather sit in your chair. We will just finish up seated here. Few shoulder rolls. And then go the other way. And then release the arms so fingertips are on the floor. Okay, out on the sides. And then just drop an ear to a shoulder. And to the other shoulder. Okay, now back to the other shoulder. Now we're going to do some head turns. So chin turns up and down. And then ear to the other shoulder. And chin turns up and down. All right. So your homework for the week is to start using your massage ball, and then also continue practicing the squats and the hinges that we did in the first class. And I don't know if I gave that to you as homework or not because of all the craziness with my dog barking. But practice squats and hinges, and then using the massage ball, because it would be great if you could spend like 5 minutes before class starts inhibiting those tight muscles with your massage ball, and then we'll get into class for the day. So make sure next week you have your mini band, because we're going to work on our glutes next week. Okay, thanks for joining today, you guys.
So Carrie, Stacy, what's the hinges? What do the hinges look like?
Oh, sure, I can review that. So the hinges were, you can't see me. Hinges were, so we found neutral spine, and then we made the hand sandwich here, and then I just had you practice leaning forward with a tall spine, and then knees a little bit bent, and then squeeze your glutes as you come up. Okay, so those were the hinges, and then we did the squats as well.